on Connecticut's news station. Attorneys for the family of a man shot and killed by a police officer during a stolen car chase are sharing new video. More ahead on their new claims against police.
Could sewage backup issues in North Hartford be linked to severe illness?
That it really flooded here.
I'm Samaya Hernandez with an exclusive report straight ahead.
Also ahead, digging deeper into the state police ticket scandal. What to expect from a wide range of investigators, including the Department of Justice.
And we are timing out some rain as we head into the day tomorrow, but there is a big payoff after it moves out. Your full forecast coming up.
Breaking news now on Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
And breaking news tonight in the deadly police shooting in West Hartford. Thanks for joining us here at the News at 6. I'm Sarah Sanchez.
And I'm Ben Goldman. The attorneys for the family of the man who was shot and killed by West Hartford police earlier this month say they believe officers may have waited to begin life-saving efforts after the shooting. Fox
61's Jake Garcia is in the breaking news center with the latest developments in this story. Jake.
Well, Ben and Sarah, attorneys for the family of Mike Alexander Garcia say new video recorded by a witness at the tire shop where the shooting occurred is providing them with more details about the timeline of these events, alleging officers may have not started life-saving efforts directly after the shooting. Now, you may remember earlier this month, West Hartford police say they were trying to recover a stolen vehicle when it eventually crashed. Police say one of the men inside, Mike Alexander Garcia, fled and attempted to carjack two other vehicles before entering the Town Fair Tire, where Alexander Garcia can be seen on video jumping into another car into one of the bays. That's when the video shows Officer Andrew Teeter and his K9 enter the car and the car beginning to back out of the garage. Officer Teeter ordered Alexander Garcia to stop the car multiple times before firing his weapon multiple times into Alexander Garcia's back. The attorney for the family of Alexander Garcia say a video recorded by a witness shows officers' response following the shooting.
The video shows officers standing around the vehicle where our client was shot. There appears to be an approximate delay of 2 minutes before any CPR or other life-saving efforts are made to resuscitate our client, who had just been shot 4 times at point-blank range.
Now, attorneys say the time before CPR started is anywhere from 2 to 7 minutes after the shooting. The attorneys using the timestamp from the body camera video and metadata encrypted on the video taken by the witness from inside the tire shop. Timestamps on body camera video indicate the shooting took place at 5:12, but metadata from the witness' cell phone video says the recording started at 5:17, and the video shows officers starting CPR about 2 minutes into that video, which would have been around 5:19. Now, attorneys are asking for all metadata for all of the body camera video to have a better understanding of what took place after the shooting. We reached out to the West Hartford Police Department for comment, but instead they referred us to the Office of the Inspector General, who is currently investigating whether the shooting was justified. In the Breaking News Center, Jake Garcia, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, Jake, thank you. Well, earlier on the news at 5 this evening, we told you about how the state police traffic ticket scandal has the potential to impact court cases.
It's a scandal being investigated by multiple agencies, including the Department of Justice. Fox 61's Matt Karen looked into how that investigation might be conducted. Matt.
Well, that's right. Today I sat down with Ken Gray. He's a professor at the University of New Haven, but he's also a former FBI special agent. And he told me he wasn't surprised to see the feds step in.
The state police are patrolling our nation's highways, some of which are federally funded.
And that's why the federal DOJ is joining these 4 other agencies to investigate the potential that as many as 300 state troopers may have falsified racial profiling data and over-reported nearly 26,000 tickets.
This may be bigger than just the state police.
Gray told Fox 61 that because the state's central repository for ticket data involves more agencies than just the state police, municipal police might also be called into question. We saw that in Hartford, where a former officer resigned after admitting to creating traffic stops that never existed.
We didn't believe was accurate, and we quickly, called over to the court, had that warrant vacated.
Former FBI Special Agent Ken Gray telling Fox 61 getting to the bottom of the scale, scope, and intent of the state police data discrepancies can take some time.
The question is, how much labor do you put into this investigation? Part of this is going to be data analysis. Part of this is going to be actual investigative time.
The state police union has suggested politics is playing a role in this investigation.
What's happened over the years is that politics has saturated everything.
Nationally, much has been made about the alleged weaponization of the Department of Justice, but Gray told Fox 61 he disagrees.
In this particular case, it appears that it was not being targeted against this data for political purposes. In this particular case, it appears that it was for personal gain. That is, better assignments, better cars, perhaps promotions.
And while all of these investigations are still ongoing, so far only 4 troopers have been disciplined for wrongdoing. About a dozen others have already been exonerated. There is still no public list of the troopers' names who are alleged to have been involved. In the studio, Matt Karen, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right, thank you, Matt. Could ongoing flooding in North Hartford be linked to severe illnesses? That's the question we're asking tonight. Compensation is on the way for people who have been subjected to ongoing flooding there, but is it too little and too late? And will it reach those who need it the most?
Those are the questions here in a Fox 61 exclusive tonight. Samaya Hernandez sits down with neighbors in the Blue Hills community to talk about the impacts of this ongoing issue.
Applications for Hartford's flood compensation program open on Friday, but before they do, a civil rights agency in Washington, D.C. is seeking answers from Connecticut officials on behalf of some of the people hurting the most. Winfred Nelson has raised 3 grandkids in Blue Hills.
Jeremiah, Amber, and Rashad. I raised them.
She's called this house on Lime Street home for more than 3 decades.
First thing the doctor always asks me, do I smoke? Do I drink? I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't.
Nelson's also been battling liver cancer for nearly a decade.
I don't know what this mold is doing. I had mold in the house, sewage in the house.
A pile of rubble remains where a washing machine was removed due to sewage contamination. This basement off limits after sewage en route to a water treatment facility backed up into homes numerous times.
The fire marshal says, don't go down here anymore. You can't use it.
Nelson got about $7,000 from the city's flood mitigation program for some repairs. Now, the NAACP's Legal Defense and Educational Fund in Washington, D.C. is requesting a meeting with city officials to ensure residents aren't disqualified over issues like unpaid parking tickets.
We want them compensated and we want the problem fixed.
Neighbors say they're fed up.
Mold, mice, and whatever. My house is just a wreck. It'll never be the same again.
Still, Nelson doesn't want to move.
I've been here all my life in this city. Why do I have to leave?
The comptroller's office tells us that they are in receipt of that letter and that they are planning to meet with officials at the NAACP. They say it is not the intention of the comptroller's office to use flood mitigation funds to offset any money that anyone owes to the state. In Hartford, I'm Samaya Hernandez, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Samaya. To Groton now, where police are saying a crash that killed 1 person and critically injured another involved motorcyclists and ATVs during a street takeover. Police say a group was driving recklessly at the intersection of Long Hill Road and Meridian Street Extension last night. One of those drivers is accused of running a red light and drove into a car that was turning left at a green light. A passenger on a dirt bike, Tiara Wheeler, was thrown from the bike and died. The driver of the bike was critically injured. Police say some of the bikes involved in the takeover didn't have their lights on. Investigators also say people in that group took the bike involved in the crash from the scene. And new tonight in Manchester, we're hearing from a man who says vandals targeted his wife's car. Police say that car's window was smashed in the parking lot of an apartment complex on Buckland Hills Drive just before midnight. The man who saw the crime unfold tells us what happened when he realized something was wrong.
I looked out my window here and I saw 2 individuals by my wife's car. I started to shout at them and I told my wife to call the cops. I came outside to see what's happening and I saw they were still there walking away, so I looked the direction to which they were going to see, if I could identify something, license plate or something like that. And then I heard 2 shots fired.
The officers say one of those bullets went through an apartment. There was a person inside, but we're told they weren't injured, thankfully. If you were in the area of Buckland Hills Drive and saw what happened, you're asked to call police with any descriptions. Pretty pleasant evening out there tonight, but don't get used to it. Here we go again. Rain's on the way.
Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now. We're fine with this, Rach, because we're all looking ahead to the weekend,
Yes.
holiday weekend, right?
Any rain that we end up getting, we are going to make up for. Taking a look at the holiday weekend, lots of sunshine, a dry stretch of weather. I mean, that is unheard of in summer 2023. 78 degrees, the current temperature in Hartford. We started the day off with a lot more sunshine than was anticipated, so big bonus across the state today. But now the clouds are really starting to kind of take over. 78 in Hartford, 72 in Chester, and also in Groton. And you'll see those clouds starting to move in lower and thicken up, especially in southeastern Connecticut, where it looks like some drizzle is also starting to move in. You can see some of that moisture. So some light rain and drizzle here for Groton, for Mystic, and for southeastern Connecticut. And that will spread to other locations as we head through the overnight hours as well. And then tomorrow we'll have a better chance for seeing a scattered shower or thunderstorm morning to early afternoon and then done. Here's a look at temperatures tonight. We're close to 70 degrees as we head towards the news at 11, and that's where temperatures will be pretty much as we head towards daybreak tomorrow. So a chance for a scattered shower or thunderstorm for the morning to early afternoon. It'll be hit or miss, so it's not a total rain out in the morning to early afternoon. But again, there will be a few scattered across the state, and then we're drying things out. Temperatures rebound. It turns out to be a great afternoon, and then falling humidity. We'll talk about that amazing weekend we have in store. And of course, we've got to look at 2 hurricanes as well coming up.